My best friend took my journal and put it on the internet to pretend I died, so I stopped talking to her forever. A month later, she appeared at my window holding a knife, so I called the police and believed I was finally free of her. Until a year later, she mailed my journal back with a note, "This isn't over." When my tormentor began making my life hell in high school, I waited for karma to handle it. See, I was super quiet, the kind of person who'd let others cut in front of me and say nothing, the kind who'd share test answers with kids who weren't even my friends. Then one day, Clara started leaving me out of our friend circle on purpose and made everyone stand with their backs turned to me. I didn't say anything. At the time, I was dealing with a really bad breakup, one that made any other pain feel trivial. So whenever Clara made me sad, which was basically every day, I would just focus on the breakup pain because I refused to let some bully have that kind of power over me. But then things escalated. I would wake up from a 3-hour depression nap to see all my friends hanging out without me on Instagram stories. And of course, Clara was in all of the photos. So I tried to convince myself that I was just overthinking, that they probably didn't exclude me on purpose. But then Clara posted with the caption, "Us without dead weight." It hit me like a blow to the chest. And instead of simply blocking or unfollowing her, I temporarily disabled my entire Instagram account. I figured it was better that way, because then there wouldn't be any group tension or gossiping. But I was wrong. The next day when I came into school, none of them were talking to me. For context, it was literally me, Clara, and 4 other girls. One of them was even supposed to be my best friend. Looking back, they were probably just scared of ending up with the same fate as me, total exclusion, and were just looking to please Clara. But I didn't care. It still hurt. I would literally try to contribute to the conversation, and none of them would even look in my direction, except for Ella. Ella would share her lunch food with me, laugh with me, and let me sit beside her. She slowly started telling me all the horrible things they were saying behind my back. How I was a desperate loser who was more like a fangirl than a friend, or how they wouldn't be surprised if I ended up as a homeless woman on the street in 5 years. Naturally, my next pattern of thought was what Ella was saying during these conversations, but she swore that she would always defend me, which is why she's been getting ignored too. Well, I myself never noticed that, but I took her word for it because she was my only friend. For the next few weeks, we did everything together. FaceTime every day, wore matching outfits sometimes, never missed a good morning or good night text to each other. I really thought she was a true friend, especially since she had blocked Clara and the rest of her little Paw Patrol. But then things took a turn. One night after sleeping over at my house, I told Ella she'd have to go to school without me because I felt sick. But when I woke up a few hours later, I was hit with a lot worse than just a throbbing headache and sweaty fever. It was pictures of every page of my diary, plastered all over my feed. I immediately shot out of bed and realized my diary wasn't where I left it. And when I went to text Ella, I saw that she had blocked me on everything. I buried my face in my hands. Literally everyone I followed from my school had posted a page of it on their story. Some captioned with "Chronicles of an effing loser," others just decorated with stupid gifs. I immediately began to cry my eyes out, so much so that after just 2 minutes I could hear my older sister stomping up the stairs. I expected her to call Clara's mom or call the school, but she didn't. Instead, she wanted to fight fire with fire. She grabbed my phone, unblocked Clara, and texted her. I didn't even know what she had said until she already sent the message. It read, "This is OP's sister. She has passed away and left a note with your name. It says you had something to do with this. Can you let me know what's going on?" She was typing for almost 20 minutes and didn't say anything. In just 2 hours, every photo of my diary was deleted. I stared at my older sister Tara, my heart hammering against my ribs. How exactly am I supposed to come back from the dead? The words felt hollow in my throat. "We'll stage your return carefully," she said, pacing my room with a determined glint in her eyes. "First, we need to make sure Ella can't get back in here. I'm changing all the locks tomorrow." I hugged my knees to my chest, feeling the phantom weight of eyes watching me. "She's been watching me, Tara. She put my diary under my mattress while I was sleeping. Who does that?" "Someone seriously unhinged," Tara muttered, her face darkening as she sat beside me and squeezed my shoulder. "Listen, I think we underestimated how dangerous Ella is. This isn't just high school drama anymore." That night, we pushed my dresser in front of my bedroom door and wedged my window shut with a ruler. I barely slept, flinching at every creak and rustle outside. Each time headlights swept across my ceiling, I imagined Ella standing in our yard, her eyes fixed on my window. The next morning, Tara helped me craft a plan. I would return to school on Monday, 4 days from now, giving us time to prepare. We'd tell everyone I had attempted sewer slide but survived and had been recovering in a hospital under a privacy hold. It wasn't perfect, but it hit admitting to our lie. "What about Clara?" I asked, chewing my lip. "Everyone thinks she drove me to sewer slide." Tara's expression hardened like concrete. "Clara deserves what she got. She tormented you for months. But vandalism? Death threats? That's too far." "Fine," Tara sighed, running a hand through her hair. "We'll clear her name, but not until we deal with Ella first." That afternoon, while our parents were at work, Tara installed new locks on all our doors. She also set up an old baby monitor in my room, with the receiver in hers. "Just in case," she said, her voice tight with worry. I spent the day combing through social media using Tara's laptop. The school had created a memorial page for me, filled with messages from classmates I barely knew. Many mentioned how they wished they'd been nicer to me or noticed my struggles. It was surreal reading about myself in past tense, like attending my own funeral. Clara's accounts had gone private, but screenshots of her posts circulated widely. In one, she wrote, "I never meant for any of this to happen. I'm so sorry." In another, she begged people to stop threatening her family. But what chilled me to the bone were Ella's posts. She'd shared dozens of photos of us together, many I didn't even remember taking. Close-ups of me sleeping during our sleepovers, shots of me changing clothes with my back to the camera, images captured through my bedroom window. "Tara," I called, my voice barely a whisper. "You need to see this." She looked through the photos, her face draining of color with each swipe. "These are stalker shots, OP. She's been obsessed with you for months." "But why?" I whispered, my stomach twisting. "We barely knew each other before Clara started bullying me." Tara scrolled further back on Ella's profile and stopped suddenly. "Look at this." It was a photo from last year. Me sitting alone at lunch, unaware I was being photographed. The caption read, "Watching from afar. Someday you'll notice me." That's before we even started hanging out, I said, my skin crawling with invisible ants. She's been fixated on you this whole time, Tara said, her voice hollow with realization. I think she saw Clara bullying you as an opportunity to swoop in and be your savior. The thought made me nauseous. All those times Ella had comforted me, told me what Clara was saying behind my back. Had she been making it all up, manipulating me to depend on her? That evening, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "I know you're planning something. Don't forget I still have copies of your diary pages. One wrong move and everyone sees them again." I showed Tara, my hands trembling like autumn leaves. "She's bluffing," Tara said, but uncertainty clouded her eyes. The next morning, Tara went to school while I remained hidden at home. Around noon, she texted from her friend's phone. "Ella telling everyone she had a dream where you forgave Clara. Now she's saying Clara is innocent. People confused." An hour later, another text. "Clara back at school. Looks terrible. Ella tried to hug her, but Clara pushed her away." The pieces started falling into place like a twisted puzzle. Ella had used me to destroy Clara, and now she was trying to rebuild her own reputation by forgiving Clara. She was playing both sides, manipulating everyone. That afternoon, I heard a knock at our front door. I peered through the blinds and saw Clara standing on our porch, looking thin and pale. I ducked down, heart pounding against my ribs. She knocked again, more insistent. "I know you're in there," she called, her voice cracking. "Please, I just want to talk." I texted Tara, "Clara at our house. What do I do?" "Don't answer," she replied immediately. "I'm coming home." I watched from upstairs as Clara eventually gave up and walked away. She left something on the porch, a small envelope. After making sure she was gone, I crept downstairs and retrieved it. Inside was a handwritten letter. "OP, I don't know if you'll ever read this, but I need to say it anyway. I'm sorry for how I treated you. It was cruel and I have no excuse. When your sister texted me saying you were dead, I wanted to die too. I never meant for things to go this far, but there's something you should know. Ella came to me weeks ago with a proposition. She said she could help me take care of my OP problem if I made her part of our group afterward. I thought she just meant she'd help exclude you. I didn't know she was planning to steal your diary. I know you probably hate me and you should, but please be careful around Ella. She's not who you think she is. Clara." I read the letter 3 times, my mind reeling like a film coming unspooled. When Tara got home, I showed it to her. "She could be lying," Tara said, but doubt shadowed her words. "What if she's not?" I countered, my voice stronger than I felt. "What if Ella planned this whole thing from the beginning?" We spent the evening piecing together a timeline. If Clara was telling the truth, Ella had befriended me specifically to gain access to my diary. She'd manufactured or exaggerated the bullying to isolate me from everyone except her. Then she'd used my diary to destroy Clara's reputation while positioning herself as my loyal defender. "But why?" I kept asking, pacing the room. "What does she get out of all this?" "You," Tara said simply, the word landing like a stone. "She gets you all to herself." That night, I woke to a soft scratching sound at my window. I froze, straining to hear. There it was again, a gentle tap, tap, tap. I reached for the baby monitor and whispered, "Tara, someone's at my window." Within seconds, Tara burst into my room, baseball bat in hand. We both approached the window cautiously. Tara pulled back the curtain. No one was there, but taped to the glass was a photo. Me, sleeping in my bed, clearly taken that very night. "Oh my God," I breathed, backing away. "She was just here." Tara called the police. They arrived 20 minutes later, searched our yard, and found nothing except footprints in the flower bed beneath my window. They took the photo as evidence and promised to patrol our street, but said there wasn't much else they could do without more concrete threats. After they left, neither of us could sleep. We camped out in the living room, lights blazing, jumping at every sound. "We need to end this now," Tara said, her jaw set with determination. "Tomorrow, you're coming back to life." The next morning, Tara helped me prepare. We decided I would record a video explaining everything: how I never attempted suicide, how my sister had sent the text to Clara, and how someone had been stalking and manipulating me. I wouldn't name Ella directly, but I'd share enough that people would figure it out. Just as we finished recording, Tara's phone buzzed with a text from her friend Brian. "Emergency assembly called at school. Principal announcing OP didn't die. Says she's been in psychiatric hospital. Parents just informed school." I stared at Tara, confusion washing over me. "Our parents know?" She shook her head, looking as bewildered as I felt. "I didn't tell them anything." Another text from Brian. "Ella on stage with principal. Says she's been visiting OP in hospital. Says OP asked her to clear Clara's name. She's taking control of the narrative," Tara realized, her eyes widening. "She's bringing you back on her terms." My phone suddenly lit up with notifications, dozens of texts and calls flooding in. Somehow my number had been unblocked and shared. "I'm so glad you're okay. Why didn't you tell us you were alive? We were all so worried." And then one from Ella. "I saved you. Again. Now everyone knows Clara is innocent. You owe me. See you soon, bestie." I showed Tara, my hands shaking. "This is insane," she muttered, scrolling through the messages. "She's completely rewriting reality." We decided to accelerate our plan. Instead of waiting until Monday, I would go to school tomorrow. Tara would stay by my side the entire day. We'd release our video tonight, getting ahead of Ella's version. But when we tried to upload it, my social media accounts wouldn't let us log in. The passwords had been changed. "How is this possible?" I cried, frustration burning behind my eyes. "I haven't even been online." Tara tried her accounts next, but they were locked too. Somehow, Ella had gained access to both our social media profiles. She must have installed spyware when she was in our house, Tara realized, her face paling. "She's been watching everything we do." That night, we received an email from an anonymous address. The subject line, "One last chance." The body contained only a video file. With trembling fingers, I clicked play. The video had been filmed during Ella's sleepover, showing me sleeping, unaware of being recorded. The camera panned around, showing my diary on the nightstand, my clothes in the closet, my medications in the bathroom. Then Ella's face appeared in frame, smiling with unsettling intensity. "I know you'll try to expose me," she whispered to the camera. "Don't. I've worked too hard for this. We're going to be best friends forever, OP. Just you and me. No Clara, no Tara, no one else. The video ended with her placing something under my pillow while I slept right next to her. That's it, Tara said, grabbing her keys. We're not staying here tonight. We packed overnight bags and drove to our cousin Anthony's apartment across town. He was confused but let us crash on his couch without too many questions. Neither of us slept much, every sound making me flinch. The next morning, we drove straight to school. I felt like I might throw up as we pulled into the parking lot. Students were already staring, pointing, whispering. News of my resurrection had spread like wildfire. Stay close to me, Tara murmured as we walked toward the entrance. The hallways fell silent as I passed. Some students looked shocked, others relieved, a few suspicious. I kept my head down, avoiding eye contact. Then I heard her voice, honeyed and false. OP, you're here! Ella rushed toward me, arms outstretched for a hug. I instinctively stepped back, bumping into Tara. Don't touch her, Tara warned, stepping between us. Ella's smile didn't waver, but her eyes hardened to flint. I've been so worried about you. Why didn't you tell me you were coming today? I would have prepared everyone. Prepared them for what? I asked, finding my voice. For your return, silly. Everyone's been so confused. First you were dead, then you were in the hospital. I've been trying to keep your story straight. My story? I repeated, anger finally breaking through my fear. You know, about your sewer slide attempt, how Clara pushed you too far, but it's okay. I've forgiven her for both of us. She reached for my hand. Come on, let's go to the principal's office. He wants to see you. I pulled my hand away. I'm not going anywhere with you. Ella's smile faltered. Don't be like that. After everything I've done for you. You mean like breaking into my house? Filming me while I sleep? Stealing my diary? Students around us had stopped to watch, their expressions shocked. Ella laughed nervously. What are you talking about? I've been by your side this whole time. I visited you every day in the hospital. I was never in the hospital, Ella. I was hiding at home because you exposed my diary to the entire school. Ella's face darkened. You're confused. The medication they gave you must be affecting your memory. Stop gaslighting her, Tara snapped. We have proof of everything you've done. Ella's eyes darted between us, calculating. Then her expression crumpled into tears. I don't understand why you're being so cruel. I've only tried to help you. A small crowd had gathered now. I noticed Clara hovering at the edge, looking pale and uncertain. You didn't help me, I said, my voice stronger now. You manipulated me. You isolated me from everyone else so you could have me all to yourself. That's not true, Ella cried, tears streaming down her face. Clara was the one who hurt you. She posted those diary pages, not me. Then how did you get a copy of my diary? I challenged. The one you put under my mattress while I was sleeping? Whispers rippled through the crowd. Ella's tears stopped abruptly, her expression hardening. You're making a big mistake, she said quietly. I protected you. I saved you from Clara. I made everyone love you again. You didn't do any of that for me, I replied. You did it for yourself. Ella's face contorted with rage. You ungrateful butch. Do you know how hard I worked? How carefully I planned everything? The hallway fell silent. Even Ella seemed shocked by her outburst. So you admit it, Tara said. You planned all of this. Ella's eyes darted around, noting the stunned faces surrounding us. She backed away slowly. You'll regret this, she hissed. Both of you. Then she turned and ran, shoving students aside as she fled down the hallway. The principal appeared, looking confused by the commotion. What's going on here? Tara stepped forward. We need to talk to you. Now. It's about Ella. In his office, we explained everything. The fake sewer slide text, Ella's stalking, the diary theft, the manipulations. We showed him the photos Ella had taken of me without my knowledge, the video of her in my room while I slept, Clara's letter. He listened gravely, occasionally making notes. When we finished, he called the police. This goes beyond school discipline, he said. This is criminal behavior. While we waited for the police, Clara knocked timidly on the office door. Her eyes were red from crying. Can I talk to OP? Alone? Tara looked ready to object, but I nodded. It's okay. When we were alone, Clara couldn't meet my eyes. I'm so sorry, she whispered, for everything. I got your letter, I said. She nodded. I meant every word. I was horrible to you, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life, but I swear I didn't know what Ella was planning. When did she approach you? I asked. About 2 months ago. She said she noticed how annoyed I seemed with you, and offered to help solve the problem. I thought she just meant she'd distract you so you'd stop trying to hang out with us. Clara wiped away a tear. I never thought she'd steal your diary or fake your death. Why did you agree to her plan at all? I asked, the hurt still fresh. Clara looked ashamed. Because I was jealous of you. You were always so nice to everyone, so genuine. People liked you for you. I had to manipulate people to like me. When Ella suggested I exclude you, it felt powerful. I know that's awful. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to forgive Clara, but another part couldn't forget how she'd made me feel. I don't expect you to forgive me, she continued. I just wanted you to know the truth and to warn you, Ella is dangerous, more than you know. What do you mean? Clara hesitated. After your death, she came to my house. She said if I ever told anyone the truth, she'd make sure I joined you. She described exactly how she'd do it, make it look like I culled myself out of guilt. Clara shuddered. The way she said it, she wasn't bluffing. A chill ran down my spine. Did you tell the police? I tried. They didn't take it seriously. They thought I was trying to deflect blame. Our conversation was interrupted by a commotion outside. We hurried into the hallway to find police officers speaking with the principal. Tara rushed over to me. They can't find Ella, she explained. She's not in the building. What about her home? I asked. Officers are headed there now, the principal said. In the meantime, I think you should go home, OP, for your safety. As Tara drove me home, I kept checking over my shoulder, half expecting to see Ella following us. What happens now? I asked. The police will find her, Tara assured me. They're taking this seriously. But when we arrived home, I knew immediately something was wrong. The front door stood slightly ajar. Stay in the car, Tara ordered, pulling out her phone to call 911. I locked the car doors, watching as Tara cautiously approached the house. She peered inside, then quickly backed away, returning to the car. Someone's been inside, she said, her voice tight. Your room is trashed. We waited in the car until police arrived. They searched the house thoroughly before allowing us inside. My bedroom had been destroyed, clothes ripped from hangers, mattress slashed open, then, mirror shattered. Written on the wall in what looked like lipstick were the words, "You chose this." The police took photos and filed a report, promising to increase patrols in our neighborhood. They advised us to stay elsewhere until Ella was found. "Where can we go?" I asked Tara once the police had left. "She knows about Anthony's place." Tara thought for a moment. "I have a friend, Savannah, who's studying abroad this semester. Her apartment is empty, and I have her spare key. Ella doesn't know about her." We packed essential items and left a note for our parents explaining the situation. As we drove to Savannah's apartment, I felt a weight lifting. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I could breathe. The apartment was small but cozy, located in a secure building with keycard access. We ordered takeout and tried to relax, though I still jumped at every sound. "Do you think they'll find her?" I asked as we ate. "They have to," Tara said. "She can't hide forever." That night, I slept fitfully, dreaming of Ella standing over my bed, watching me sleep. I woke several times, heart pounding, convinced I'd heard something. In the morning, Tara received a call from the police. Ella hadn't returned home. Her parents were cooperating but seemed genuinely confused by the accusations. They claimed Ella had always been a model student with no behavioral issues. Days passed with no sign of Ella. I attended school under the watchful eye of Tara or a designated teacher. Students gave me a wide berth, unsure how to act around someone who had returned from the dead. The story of Ella's obsession had spread, turning the previous sympathy for her into fear and disgust. Clara kept her distance, though she'd occasionally offer a small smile or nod in the hallway. I wasn't ready to forgive her, but the burning anger had subsided. A week after Ella's disappearance, I received a package at school. No return address, just my name in familiar handwriting. The main office called me down, having already x-rayed it for safety. "It's just papers," the secretary assured me. With trembling hands, I opened the package. Inside was my diary, the original, not the copy Ella had planted. Along with it was a note. "I'm not done with you yet. This was just the beginning. See you soon, bestie. E." I dropped the diary like it was on fire. The secretary called the police while I called Tara, my hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. The police traced the package to a post office 2 towns over, but the security footage showed a middle-aged man mailing it, clearly someone Ella had paid to send it for her. That night at Savannah's apartment, Tara and I double-checked all the locks and windows. We were discussing whether to move again when my phone chimed with a text from an unknown number. "Look outside your window." My blood ran cold. I showed Tara, who immediately turned off all the lights and cautiously approached the window. She peered through a crack in the blinds, then quickly stepped back. "There's someone in a car across the street," she whispered. "I can't see who it is." We called the police, who arrived within minutes. They found the car empty, though the engine was still warm. On the windshield was a note. "Nice try." "She found us," I whispered, panic rising in my throat. "How did she find us?" "The police advised us to pack our things immediately." "We'll escort you somewhere safe," the officer said, his hand resting on his holster as he scanned the street. "Where can we even go?" I whispered to Tara as we hastily stuffed clothes into our bags. "She keeps finding us." Tara's face was grim. "I think I know how she's doing it." She grabbed my phone and popped off the case, examining it closely. After a moment, she held up a tiny black disc barely larger than a button battery. "Tracker, probably in all our stuff." My stomach dropped. "She's been listening to everything?" "No, just tracking location. But that's bad enough." Tara crushed the device under her heel, then methodically began checking our other belongings. She found another tracker in her laptop bag, and one sewn into the lining of my favorite hoodie. The officer whistled low when Tara showed him. "This is beyond typical stalking behavior. We need to get you both into protective custody until we find this girl." That night, we stayed at a motel under police protection. Our parents joined us, finally understanding the severity of the situation after seeing the trackers. Mom kept hugging me randomly, her eyes wet with tears. Dad paced the small room, making angry calls to the school board about their failure to protect students. I barely slept, jumping at every sound outside our door. Around 3 a.m., my phone lit up with a text from another unknown number. "Found you again. Sweet dreams." I showed the officer stationed outside our door. Within minutes, the entire motel was being searched, but they found nothing. No sign of Ella, no suspicious vehicles, just the lingering certainty that she was watching us somehow. The next morning, Detective Reed arrived to interview me again. She was a sharp-eyed woman with close-cropped gray hair who specialized in stalking cases. "We need to understand her patterns," Reed explained, setting up a recording device. "The more we know about your interactions with Ella, the better chance we have of predicting her next move." I spent hours recounting every detail I could remember about my friendship with Ella, when we met, what we talked about, any strange behaviors I might have overlooked. As I spoke, patterns emerged that seemed obvious in hindsight. "She isolated you systematically," Reed noted. "First from Clara and your friend group, then from other potential friends, and finally she tried to separate you from your sister. Classic predatory behavior," the other detective added. "She created a problem so she could position herself as the solution." That afternoon, the police received a promising lead. A gas station attendant had recognized Ella from the alerts and reported seeing her early that morning. Security footage confirmed it was her, though she dyed her hair black and was wearing glasses. "We're closing in," Reed assured us. "In the meantime, we're moving you to a safe house. No electronics allowed. They're too easy to track." The safe house was a small cabin about an hour outside town. 2 officers remained with us at all times, and the location was known only to a handful of people in the department. For the first time in weeks, I felt safe. 3 days passed without incident. No texts, no sightings, no signs of Ella. I started to hope that maybe the police had caught her, though they hadn't told us yet. On the 4th day, I woke to the smell of smoke. I bolted upright, heart pounding. Thick gray smoke was seeping under my bedroom door. I could hear shouting outside, the officers calling for backup. Tara burst into my room. "Fire! We need to get out now!" We rushed outside in our pajamas to find one side of the cabin engulfed in flames. The officers were scanning the surrounding woods, GNs drawn. "Stay behind us," one ordered as they led us toward the patrol car. We were halfway there when I heard it, a twig snapping in the woods to our right. One of the officers swung toward the sound, flashlight illuminating the trees. For just a second, I saw her, Ella standing between 2 pines, watching us with a strange smile. Then she was gone, melting back into the darkness. There, I pointed, but it was too late. The officers radioed her position, but by the time backup arrived to search the area, there was no trace of her. The fire department determined the fire had been deliberately set. Someone had broken the cabin's kitchen window and thrown in homemade incendiary devices. She's escalating, Reed said grimly when she arrived at the scene. This is no longer just stalking. She's actively trying to harm you. That night, as we settled into yet another safe location, this time a secure floor of the county courthouse, Reed sat down with all of us. We need to consider a more proactive approach, she said. Ella clearly has resources and determination beyond what we anticipated. She's going to keep coming until she gets what she wants. Which is what? My father demanded. What does this girl want with my daughter? Reed looked at me. Based on her pattern, she wants complete control over OP, to be her only friend, her whole world. And now that she can't have that, she'd rather see me dead, I finished quietly. We can't just keep running, Tara said. She'll keep finding us. Reed nodded. Which is why I'm proposing a controlled confrontation. On our terms, not hers. The plan was risky but made sense. We would leak information about me returning to school, making it appear that the police protection had ended. The school would be filled with undercover officers, and I would be wearing a wire. The hope was that Ella would approach me, incriminate herself, and be arrested on the spot. My parents hated the idea, but eventually agreed it was better than living in hiding indefinitely. I was terrified, but determined. I wanted my life back. 2 days later, I walked through the front doors of school for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. Students stared and whispered as I passed. The weight of the wire taped to my chest felt obvious, though Reed had assured me it was undetectable. Just act natural, she had coached. Go to your classes, eat lunch in the cafeteria. If Ella approaches you, keep her talking. Get her to admit to what she's done. The morning passed without incident. By lunchtime, I was a bundle of nerves, jumping at every sound. I sat alone in the cafeteria, picking at my food and scanning the room constantly. That's when Clara approached, sliding into the seat across from me. Hey, she said softly. Can I sit here? I nodded, too tense to speak. Clara leaned forward. I heard you were back. Are you okay? Not really, I admitted, but I'm trying to be. She nodded, understanding in her eyes. I know it doesn't mean much, but I really am sorry for everything. I studied her face, searching for any sign of deception. All I saw was genuine remorse. I believe you, I said finally. I'm not ready to be friends again, but I don't hate you anymore. Clara gave a small, sad smile. That's more than I deserve. As we talked, I gradually relaxed. Maybe this was part of moving forward, learning to trust again, cautiously. After lunch, I headed to my locker to grab books for my afternoon classes. The hallway was nearly empty, most students already in their rooms. As I spun my combination lock, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. Someone was watching me. I turned slowly, expecting to see an undercover officer. Instead, Ella stood at the end of the hallway, her newly black hair pulled back in a ponytail. She looked thinner, her eyes sunken with dark circles beneath them. Hello, bestie, she said, her voice eerily calm. Miss me? My heart hammered against the wire on my chest. I glanced around, looking for the officers who were supposed to be monitoring me. Where were they? What do you want, Ella? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. She took a step closer. I want what I've always wanted. You and me, together, best friends forever. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. But you ruined that, didn't you? You chose them over me. You stole my diary, I said. You broke into my house. You set fire to the cabin. Those aren't things a friend does. I did those things to protect you, she snapped, her calm facade cracking. Clara was poisoning everyone against you. I had to show them who she really was. By humiliating me? By posting my private thoughts for everyone to see? Ella waved dismissively. A necessary sacrifice. And it worked, didn't it? Everyone turned against Clara. They all felt sorry for you. I made them love you. No, you made them pity me. And then you tried to kill me. I would never hurt you, she said, looking genuinely offended. The fire was just to get you away from those cops. We need to be alone, you and me, so I can explain everything. She took another step closer. I backed up against my locker, frantically wondering where the police were. Had something gone wrong with the wire? Could they not hear us? It's too late for explanations, I said, stalling. The police know everything. They're looking for you right now. Ella laughed, a hollow sound that echoed in the empty hallway. They've been looking for 2 weeks. They won't find me unless I want them to. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small switchblade. Now we're going to walk out of here together. Just you and me. My blood ran cold. Ella, don't do this. I'm not giving you a choice anymore. She flicked the blade open. You had your chance to choose me willingly. Just as she stepped toward me, a classroom door opened down the hall. Clara emerged, stopping short when she saw us. OP, she called uncertainly. Ella whirled toward her, knife glinting. You, she hissed. This is all your fault. In that moment of distraction, I lunged forward and shoved Ella as hard as I could. She stumbled backward, caught off balance. The knife clattered to the floor. Run! I shouted to Clara. Get help! Clara sprinted down the hallway as Ella scrambled for the knife. I kicked it away, sending it skidding under a row of lockers. Ella's face contorted with rage. You're choosing her again? After everything she did to you? This isn't about Clara, I said, backing away. This is about you being obsessed and dangerous. She lunged at me, fingers curved like claws. I dodged, but she caught my arm, her nails digging into my skin. We grappled, crashing into the lockers with a metallic bang. I did everything for you, she screamed, her face inches from mine. I destroyed Clara for you. I made everyone feel sorry for you. I even killed that stupid diary so no one would ever see those pages again. You what? I gasped, freezing. Ella's eyes widened, realizing what she'd admitted. I didn't mean. The hallway suddenly filled with officers, weapons drawn. Police, don't move. Ella released me, backing away with her hands raised. Her eyes never left mine, filled with a mixture of betrayal and rage. You set me up, she whispered. You set yourself up, I replied as an officer handcuffed her. As they led her away, she called over her shoulder. This isn't over, OP. I'll always find you. Always. The aftermath was a blur of statements and evidence collection. The wire had worked perfectly. They had every word of Ella's confession. Combined with the evidence from the cabin fire and the trackers, she was facing serious charges. The prosecutor was confident confident she would be institutionalized for a long time. In the weeks that followed, I slowly reclaimed my life. The story of Ella's obsession and Clara's bullying had transformed the social dynamics at school. People who had once ignored me now smiled in the hallways. Those who had mocked my diary pages now looked ashamed when I passed. Clara and I weren't friends again, but we had reached an understanding. Sometimes we'd nod to each other in the hallway or exchange a few words before class. It wasn't forgiveness exactly, but it was something like peace. One afternoon, about a month after Ella's arrest, I found myself alone in my bedroom for the first time since everything had happened. I sat on my bed, looking around at the space that had once felt violated by Ella's presence. My parents had repainted the walls and replaced the furniture, trying to erase all traces of that night. I opened my desk drawer and pulled out a new diary, a gift from Tara. The cover was plain black leather, unmarked except for a small silver lock. For a long time, I just held it, running my fingers over the smooth surface. Then I took a deep breath, opened to the first page, and began to write. Not about Ella or Clara or the trauma of the past months, but about me, who I was now, who I wanted to become. For the first time in months, I was writing my own story again.